Hey guys, so welcome back to the One Bit Podcast. Today we have Sean Fowler who can't stop laughing, and and we have two new guests here, very special guests from Japan. So go easy on them, but we're gonna ask them some special questions. We have Saito-san.
My name is Saito, Jim Saito. I'm a founder of a company, and now I'm an advisor of the company. Already 53 years now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, from 1972. Yes.
Dang.
Okay, I'm Inokuma, MD of Accuphase. I'm responsible for engineering. Good to see you.
As I understand it, you're the head engineer, correct?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
On some days.
On some days. Okay, so I'll ask the first question. I mean, we have so many questions to ask Accuphase. We're big fans. Sean more than I am, I guess. But
whatever. You're changing. You're converting.
Oh, yes, I am. Very interesting stuff. So I was reading some of your white papers the other day, and as I understand it, you guys don't use a standard variable resistor, and you guys use actually your own developed volume control mechanism called AAVA. Can you give me some the reasons as to why you opted to use the AAVA? What are the sonic benefits from doing that versus variable resistors that many companies use in this market?
Okay. Actually, it's a bit difficult to say in one word, but the point is of AAVA is that AAVA doesn't use variable resistors, which makes a very harmful noise. Okay, and so AAVA consists of very small amplifiers, okay, which doesn't have mechanical contact, which can easily oxidize. Okay, so this is a point, first of all. So because of that, the AAVA reliability is very, very high. So customer use our products after 10 or 20 years, while AAVA doesn't make bass noise. Okay, you listen to something like a zaza after 10 or 20 years. AAVA does have such kind of noise. So AAVA can improve reliability after a long time use.
And as I understand it, it also improves signal to noise ratio and total harmonic distortion as well. Right?
Yeah. Actually, variable resistor has noise itself, which is called thermal noise. Okay, so if the variable resistor noise, okay, amplify the noise, okay, and it masks all the information of the music, emotion, and like that. So, but AAVA doesn't use a variable resistor, so it doesn't have the thermal noise itself. Okay, this is the point. So AAVA can reduce the noise much, and it does never mask the music, all information detail.
And as I understand it, this actually gives you more fine control over the volume as well, since you guys are using 16 converters, right? Voltage to current converters, which gives you, a variation of 16 to the power 2 to the power of 16, giving you like something like 56,000 steps or something.
Yes,
correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So is this something that only Accuphase has right now?
Yes, I think that AAVA is Accuphase patent, and so probably this is very unique.
Very cool. That was like my number one question I wanted to ask about, because I actually have the C2900 and I was very impressed with the pre-amplifier. So I was curious as to some of the technology that went into it.
Okay.
So thank you for that. Sean, you want to ask the next question?
Sure. Well, first, I'm glad you asked that because I was actually curious about the same thing. So that's cool to know. All right. So my question is going to be very easy. So Accuphase is currently independently owned and one of the last independently owned hi-fi companies in this business. Do you plan on keeping it that way for a long time, to remain independently owned?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Our main peoples was work in like Kenwood. To founder, they left company, came company about 55 years ago, and he made a new company, which we call the first of all Ken Sonic. But after that, we changed to the company name, and brand name is Accuphase. But when we founded 1972, and that time, of course, Ken was a very good company, but average component, not the high-end products. But always we like to challenge to the only high-end products. So this people to make a new company, and our philosophy is only high-end products, not average product we cannot producing. And also we are electronic engineers. So audio big three part is electronics and speaker and turntables. But we are electronics engineer. Only we producing this electronics. We don't produce any speaker. We don't produce any turntables. This company philosophy.
And we have we have another very important policy that we don't expand our company size. So we don't need investors.
Yeah.
We don't need such kind of people who wants to make the business bigger.
Yeah, I found it interesting that you guys mentioned about the Kenwood, because I have the Kenwood L07M monoblocks. Yeah, downstairs actually. In the
Okay,
basement.
great.
Yeah. So, and I believe that's like one of the last pieces you guys made before you went to do Accuphase. So I found that interesting. So my next question is also a little bit technical. Again, I read through your white papers last night, and I realized that all the technologies that you have on your white paper, including the AAVA volume control, MCS, and MDS technology, you talk about lowering the signal to noise ratio and total harmonic distortion. Is that one of the criteria that you look for in your amplifier in terms of quality? And is there other factors that you consider when you implement these technologies? Is there like specs that you prioritize?
Yeah. Sometimes people say, okay, audio amplifier doesn't need performance much. The sound is important, but we don't think so. As he says, we are engineering group, so the performance is very, very important. Okay, so even though we tune the sound, okay, we determine the performance first of all, and after that, after we obtain the performance which we want to achieve that, okay, and we start to tune the sound. So performance is very, very important. And for example, now we are focusing on the reducing noise, right? So reduce noise is very important to revive the music, especially the music emotions or some kind of very important part of the music. So we first of all we try to reduce the noise.
So what is considered low for Accuphase? Is it 110, 130 signal to noise ratio? What is the goal that you have in mind when you look at, what do we want to, like, what's the number that you want to hit in terms of that?
Yeah. Every time we finish the design, we engineers feel, it's the limit. Okay, now we reach the limit. We cannot get over this value. But after 5 or 6 years, okay, we reconsider that with the newest technology, latest technology we hit upon in my head. Okay, we may able to get over the performance, get over the noise ratio 120, now 122. Okay, if we use this circuit, okay, we may be able to get over 122. Okay, it can make like 123 or 125. Okay, then we start the design again. Okay, so not the limit. We found not the limit, but at the time we finished the design, we felt that.
I see.
Yeah.
So you guys don't really set a limit. You guys just strive for the best you can.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Sean. Excellent.
Okay.
Yep.
No, it's good to know. Okay, so when it comes to service, Accuphase is very famous for being able to service their components, many years after they were released to the market. Are there any particular parts that Accuphase stocks over others, or do you try to stock every part that goes inside your components, whether it's digital or analog?
Especially analog component is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the capacitor determine the sound. Okay, so we use many type of capacitors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we keep the many stocks about each capacitors.
Okay.
Okay, so we use the very custom capacitors or custom components, not only capacitor but also like other switches or the other resistors as well.
Mm-hmm.
These analog components are very important, so we have plenty of stocks for the repairing.
Okay, excellent. Jay, your turn.
Yeah. So my next question is a follow-up of the previous question I asked. So signal to noise ratio and total harmonic distortion is obviously important to Accuphase, and Class A and Class AB designs have been better performers in that realm versus Class D amplifiers. But Class D amplifiers are catching up. They are showing promising results in that regard, signal to noise ratio and total harmonic distortion. Do you ever see Accuphase adopting Class D design or coming up with their own Class D design in the future?
Yes, it's possible if the performance can get over the Class A or Class AB analog amplifier. But at this moment, with our technology, it's very difficult to make the better performance than Class A or Class AB, analog amplifier. Okay, the advantage of Class D amplifier is that the product can make smaller.
Yeah, that's the main reason I asked.
So for example, if I talk about design or something like space factor or something like that, okay, then Class D is very competitive than Class A, Class AB. But at this moment, we don't feel it is not our advantage.
Yes.
That's why we don't take the Class D at this moment.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It would help me lift things up the stairs, though.
Yeah, I'm like, is there any possibility in the future for these, wonderful sounds to be smaller?
Yeah. Oh, man. So I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is on the back of the question I just asked. So what happens if a customer's product needs serviced and you don't have the parts in stock? Like maybe it's an old product and the parts are no longer made. How does Accuphase typically handle that?
In Japan, we have this special guy working for a company. He can make himself makes old parts, makes new one.
Okay. Wow.
Nothing. This guy makes us especially component.
Basically, we use alternative parts for repairing. If we don't have the alternative parts, the guy can make the self-alternative part components. Okay, and if he cannot make that, okay, he overhaul the parts which need to repair. If that, something like that, we try to repair all the products, even though the products live more than 20, 30 years. Okay, so there's a lot of customer who use P300, C200. 1970s our products. So we need to repair. We need to study how to repair it.
Okay, no, that's good. So that means even if you don't have the replacement part, you'll still find a way to try and service it to spec in one way or the other.
Yes,
Okay,
you're
that's
right.
good to know. It's good to know. Jay, your turn.
So, as I understand it, Accuphase means accurate phase,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So, when I ask this question to manufacturers, often the response I get back is that they are going for the most pure sound. Um, but the question I want to ask you is that, what you mentioned that Accuphase strives to reach the highest level of sonic quality as much as possible. What is that? What does that mean in terms of music sonic playback? Is it the most faithful reproduction of the music piece, like many other companies, or is it something else? What's the sound that you're looking for?
Hmm. Mm, okay, the sound tendencies has a trend actually. So sometimes the people who wants bass, okay, the guy says, "I need more bass." Okay, this amplifier does make much bass or something like that. Or the a person who loves a female vocal, okay, we want a more warmth of sound like that. But it's their favor. So the sound is like that. So now the trend of Accuphase sound is like to revive the atmosphere of the music, the energy of the music. These are very important. For example, that when the performer perform the sound, at the moment they make the sound. Okay, so for example, they breathe and start the music. Okay, if the amplifier can revive the breeze or the atmosphere, the probably the sound makes great.
Mm. So it's you compare it to basically so you want the purest sound possible. Is that what you're trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
achieve?
yeah, yes, yeah. Of course, that is very important.
Mm.
Yeah.
So at Accuphase, do you guys like go back and forth and like do listening tests to outside of just building it for spec, or do you guys rely more on spec and technology?
Mm, as I said, spec is very, very important. But after we determine the specification, after we determine the performance, okay, the sound is more emotional, can be more emotional. Okay, so we do never change the spec, we do never change the performance that we determine when we tune the sound. Okay, but we use a lot of way to change the sound. We have a lot of knowledge to change the sound without changing the performance.
Mm.
Okay, so using that, we change the sound, we create the sound.
Can you give me one example? So you're saying that the specs are what it is. We try to achieve the best spec possible,
Mhm.
but when we listen subjectively and decide to tune the sound in a certain way, we don't mess with the specs,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So what are some ways that you can tune the sound without touching the specs or the
Mm,
performance?
okay, for example, there's one component which uh, have a very sensitive for the sound quality. Okay, like capacitor,
Mm.
chemical capacitor is a very very important to determine the sound. Okay, even the same capacitance, same voltage, the other capacitor has different own sound tendency. Okay, so we use many types of the capacitor. Okay, we try to change the capacitor. Okay, if the performance of the capacitor is the same, the product performance does never change, right?
Right, right.
Okay, but the sound tendency is different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we tried
Mm.
and listen the music. Okay, and we tried the different capacitor. Okay, to change the sound, right? Okay, and we control the sound, and we try to make the ideas sound
Mm.
by change the component, by change the capacitor. This is one knowledge.
Very cool.
Yeah.
John,
Yes.
do you have a
I'm about to say, it sounds like they just go for, they have a goal, electrically speaking,
yeah?
right?
Yeah.
Once you hit that goal, then you listen subjectively, and you can change, coupling capacitor. You can even install bypass caps, whatever, to modify to taste without compromising anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. Excuse me. My next question is: I noticed the E280 is gone. Kind of breaks my heart. I own one myself. So, is this part of Accuphase shrinking the line? Is the 280 ever going to come back as the 2000, or is it just going to be 3000, 4000, and 5000 for the Class AB integrated amps?
Yeah.
3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe three. Yes.
Okay, so E280 is gone.
Yeah, it is gone. E280 is combined with E380 and become E3000.
Okay.
It's brand new, our integrated amp.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is amplifier is still very important amplifier for us. This
Very.
is a standard model of Accuphase.
Mhm.
Compared with other products, E3000 is a bit cheaper. Yeah, but this is very, very important. So we try to keep the quality, and we try to produce after E3000. This maybe become E3000S or E3000, E3100 or something like that. But this class is very important. So we try to produce a new one
Okay.
in the future.
Okay, so this is the new structure. All right. Cool.
Okay. So my next question is, so I recently reviewed a speaker from Germany called Gutter Acoustic, and I paired it up, of course, with your Accuphase preamplifier amplifier behind you, and just put a smile on my face because the difference was drastic on a speaker like that. So my question is, when you design your amplifiers, like you mentioned, you guys don't design speakers, you guys don't design anything else but your specialty that Accuphase is. So with amplifiers, preamplifiers, and so on, what are the do you have a preference for certain speakers that you tune the sound with? What do you personally use?
We use many speakers for reference. Now we use a B&W and the Fine Audio, and last time we used JBL, sometimes Wilson Audio, something like that. Okay, we choose the speakers, the standard speakers, and not so special, standard. So we take B&W, JBL, or something. Okay, so and
Something people are gonna use widely.
yes, yeah, and not too much expensive.
Is there a reason for that?
Even though, okay, for example, very unique speakers, very high specification speakers has unique sound. Okay, even the Accuphase can drive only the speakers. Okay, people don't satisfy it. And we don't want them to use the specific speakers. Make them to use specific speakers. Okay, Accuphase policy is that, okay, Accuphase amplifier can drive everything. Okay, please use the speakers you like. So, and the combination is very important. So make the combination yourself and enjoy the music. And that is so we don't specify the speakers.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. I think this leads me to my last question. So, you guys are around Accuphase all the time. Do you own any Accuphase products for yourself? And if so, which ones?
Okay, now I use a P7 300 power amplifier.
Okay.
And C20 150 preamplifier, DP900 DC91 CD player with Vienna acoustic speakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very
nice.
Vienna, that's
cool. Acoustic. Wait,
Yeah.
does that mean you like classical jazz and stuff like that? I always associate Vienna with that kind of music.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good speaker.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
All right.
So I have
Always we putting a new product to my house and listen every time.
Oh, okay. Okay, very cool. So they live and breathe this stuff. They're
Yeah, yeah, they
This
do.
is a advantage for the company control.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I knew they were audio nerds the moment they walked in my space.
Yeah.
So we see two gentlemen here, but we had three others that were part of the team that walked into my room.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh, I feel violated. But they were looking at all the stuff I have, and they were geeking out. So I was like, oh, they're one of
They,
us.
they like it. It's not just business. This is like
Yeah.
what they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Despite their fancy suits, this is their Accuphase uniform.
Yes.
Unlike North Americans here,
I was gonna say this is my uniform right here.
my uniform, but
This is how I work.
very professional.
Yeah.
Back in Japan, so very cool. They did fly all the way from Japan to Canada before they are going to be flying to Expona with me.
Oh, nice.
So this is a very unique opportunity. The owner and the head engineer. So I think one more question that I will ask them is, Accuphase undoubtedly, like build quality wise, sonic quality wise, it's the highest order I have ever seen. But some people will still say, oh, it's very expensive, a lot of moolah, right? And some people will say, well, no, you don't need Accuphase to get good sound, right?
Yeah.
It's because of all the other extras like the build quality, the looks, the prestige of the brand, and so on. But sound-wise, we can get away with buying something cheaper, right?
Yeah.
What do you have to say to that? Would you agree, disagree?
Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
In Japan, we told to customers, if we pay first payment like this high, but 10 years, 20 years, if you use this machine, so
The longevity.
dividing to using years,
I see.
normally say 3-4 years complete no value. But our product, even the 20 years, 30 years, still they have the big value. So you should think about the long time dividing for not for the first time payment.
Okay. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I totally agree with that. Basically, we focus on make unbreakable products. So once the customer get the Accuphase products, we want the customer use our products for a long time, after 20 years, 30 years. Okay, and sometimes the people give our products to their son.
Yeah, heirloom. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very good thing. I think it's a basic thing of the quality products. Yeah, so we want to pursue the quality products. Okay, the sound is depends on the person. So yeah, but it's okay. It's just a hobby. So if people like Accuphase, please purchase Accuphase. Okay, if you don't like Accuphase, there are people don't like. People don't need to buy Accuphase. Yeah, that's it. That's fun. So
That's probably, I thank you for that answer, because I think that's one of the most wholesome answer I've gotten from any company, actually, because yeah, it makes sense. I mean, yes, Accuphase is expensive, but what they're saying is that Accuphase lasts, for generations. Sometimes, I still see older Accuphase in the used market, as collectibles, right? So they're making their amplifiers and their components to be basically unbreakable for long term. So, what in their mind, like, it's an investment that will last you your entire life and some more, right?
Yeah.
Versus a cheaper amplifier that may, have your sound preference, but they will break down, eventually and sooner. So I think there's value in that, and I think their approach is very down to earth and wholesome. That was a very good answer.
I said just a hobby
just a hobby.
and an obsession for some of us.
Addiction.
Addiction.
Yeah, and in a hobby like this, where or a passion like this, where some of us are absolutely obsessed with the utmost quality in sonic and build quality in whatever way possible. I think a brand like Accuphase, represents that very well, and how they answer that question. I think I'm very impressed with it personally. It's probably the most host. I ask this question all the time, and the answers I get is usually very different. This was a very wholesome answer that made sense to me, at least. Yeah.
Yep.
So Sean, do you have any last questions, or?
I think that's it. I think I need to let them go so you guys can get some food.
They have a dinner planned, so I dragged them in just so that I can do this with them. So thank you so much for joining us today and answering all the questions. It was a very eye-opening and great opportunity for us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
We have enjoyed very much.
We enjoy also.
And you'll see them in my Exponent video as well. I'll be harassing them all show.
There you go. As you should.
So thank you very much. This was the One Bullet Podcast. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Until next time.
Peace.
Thank you.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight.